Okay, right, now for the next part we need to do our S-Video mod. Now this is where it gets just slightly more tricky, but there's a few things you're going to need. What you do need is some 220 microfarad capacitors. These are 16 volts. They're pretty standard. Okay, so you need two of those, and you also need two 75 ohm resistors. These are the half a watt ones, which they're fine for this sort of work. Now on your MegaDrive motherboard or your Genesis, whichever one you're doing, we need to, for S-Video, we have to solder directly to the video encoder, which if your cartridge slot is here, it's actually up here in the back corner. So that's it there. It's not, there are certainly smaller soldering points that you can get, but yeah, it's not too bad. If your hand's relatively steady, then you'll be fine. Now, the pins I'm going to solder to apply to the Sony chips, and this one here's a Fujitsu. So either of those are fine, but if you do have a different type of chip, then the wiring will be different. Maybe just. These are actually numbered, so it's pin 1 on the end, pin 12 here, pin 13 is down here, and pin 24 is over in that bottom row there. And we need to solder to pins 15 and 16, so we're going to be soldering to the bottom row, and it'll be two next to each other. Right. So hopefully you can see alright. So all we need to do is count across, so 13, 14, that's 15 and that's 16. So we just need to get a little bit of solder on there. And you've got to be quite careful that you don't solder them together. Then all we need to do is bring in our wire, do this one first. There we go. Any of these little points along the edge here, they're all connected to ground, so pretty much you can just choose whatever's going to be comfortable for you. So again, just putting a bit of solder on. I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller, because we like nice tidy connections. Heat that up, and there we go. Because with your capacitors, they've all got a big stripe down the side of them. The polarized ones do, which is what you want to be using, and the big stripe is actually the negative. And it's very important that the negative leg goes towards your socket. So your positive leg is going to go towards the MegaDrive motherboard, as in it's going to go on the end of this wire, and the negative leg is going to go out to the socket. So I'll take our resistor, and we just want to solder our resistor onto the leg, and then onto the wire, and that's the first one done. So I can actually twist them up with my resistor like that, so you can see that it's going to be a nice tight joint there. I'll put a little bit of solder on there, and cut off the excess. Okay, so there we go. Slide that down there like that. Okay, and then what's going to happen is our heat shrink's going to slide over that. We'll heat that up, and then this end's going to go off onto our S-video socket. Alright, so just twisting our wires up, and we're just going to repeat that for the other line here. So twist that up. Okay, so I've got a little butane torch here, so I'm just going to gently heat up our heat shrink. Okay, you can see it's sort of melted down there, so it's not going to come off. If you don't have heat shrink, you could probably use some insulation tape or some very clever use of hot glue. Yeah, you can attach the wires to the socket if you like, and then attach the socket to the chassis, but a lot of people will tell you it's actually easier to do it when the socket's already attached. Okay, that's the top two. And the bottom two doesn't really matter because they're both grounds. You can put them any which way around you like. Right, and there we are, all attached. Next up, testing it. So now that we've proven it all works, we can carry on and hook up the sound and make that S-video socket a bit more secure, and then we're all done. What a lot of you will probably like to do, especially with this socket, is what we do is actually put some extra little bits of wires. The capacitors aren't actually joined directly to the socket like that, but just for the sake of testing in this video. So there we go. Right, back again soon with the next part. Okay, right. Last part of our modification is now we've done our S-video, we need some sound. Now you can get it directly off the IC if you want, but in this case I actually find it's easier and there's no real difference, especially in quality, just to get it straight off the multi-AV jack. So looking at our board here, this is the underside of it. And to give you a bit of a point of reference, I'll just flick that up. Alright, here's our old AV jack, and here's our power connector, and we're going to be soldering into this. So your left and right audio are right next to each other. Your I don't know how well you can see, but it's in the bottom row, and it's the first pin here. That's your right audio. So I'll just put a bit of solder on there, okay, and right next to it is our left audio, so nice and easy to find. Okay. So that's one on. And with your audio cables, you don't need any resistors or anything like that. Yeah, we can just bend those over. And for your grounds, pretty much same as before with the S-video mod. Pretty much any of this is all ground, or these outside connectors. You can actually see in the board how they're all joined together. So any of those will do. So you just hook those up, and then onto your audio jacks. You just hook it to one to each. They'll connect onto there, and then you'll hook your ground onto the outer shell. Nice and easy. Then all you need to do is your composite video, which some of you may or may not use. I like it so that way that people have got options. They can connect up whatever they like. Not everyone has this video. So with composite you've got your right audio, your left audio, still on the bottom row. We skip one, and then this one here. This one is for your composite. Okay. And while I'm here, I'll do the ground. And your composite video and your left and right audio all share a common ground. So you only need to bring the one ground wire out, which I've taken off the shell there, and you can actually link them all together. The other thing just to check, just while we're here, is on this power connector, the centre pin, very common to find these broken, and it's one of the leading causes as to why MegaDrives don't work, is this pin actually breaks out. So while I'm here, I always quickly resolder them, just get a nice fresh bit of flow into it, make sure it's going to hold on nice and tight. And in worst case scenarios where it's actually broken out of the board, what you can do is get a fiberglass pen is actually best, but a razor blade will do. Let's bring this a bit closer. And you can shave a bit of this area back so you've got a bit of the copper contact showing, and actually join it back up, put a bit of solder across, and that'll get it going again. Okay, and get that out of the way. So what I've done is I've just pulled out the S-video, and we're just going to run off our composite leads, which go through this big mess, and plug in over here. And there we are, composite. And there we go. So all we need to do now is go back and clean all this up, get it all mounted up, and we're done. So thanks for watching.